Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our next part of Kingdom Hearts. Terribly sorry about that. I've just been here, doing my studying here at the library.
What year is this again?
The year is 2028.
It's been 300 years, and Kingdom Hearts 4 still hasn't been released.
Yeah. Dude.
I would say 3, but that's the joke you can't do anymore.
Yeah, no, that's a game that's actually finished.
I know, but I was gonna say, like, just the way he says, like, man, I'm sad. I'm upset. I'm upset with, like I started this whole commentary with, I love this game, and I love this franchise, and I hate this franchise so much.
Oh yeah, no, dude, I totally get it. Like, I understand why this game has the appeal that it does, like, on so many levels. It's just, it's also one of those cases where you also have to accept that this is pure anime trash, and we love it.
Or at the very least, tolerate it.
And it's still that thing where, like, what was it? You said that, like, the big irony of this whole thing is that it's anime stuff that Disney wanted more of. Like Disney wanted all the anime stuff to happen, at least initially.
I mean, yeah, no, like it's still interesting to know how this whole franchise got off the ground in the first place, and just for the sake of its own inception, it's easily one of the most, like, inspirational crossovers ever to grace the industry. And it's just absolutely. That, it's also one of those cases where, despite it being all for the sake of fun and whimsy at first, it just got a little too convoluted for its own britches.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah,
no. Okay.
Yeah, we need him because there's a trinity we need to do, because
right.
Welcome to the Library puzzle, which I actually have already done enough to...
Open
get
at him!
Out of this area. Whack! I've actually already done a lot, or I should say, I've done enough that I could actually have left this place, but I want to at least finish off this puzzle because it's not too hard. We're basically moving... Sorry, Beast! Oh, he's okay. We're doing this all so we can collect books to put into their proper shelves so that we can hopefully find the secrets that lie within this place. So
I will definitely say,
as you know,
I will definitely say that even though later games definitely improved on the formula a good deal, like hell, Kingdom Hearts 2 is still often considered like the best game in the franchise, if not one of Square's best games in general.
From a gameplay standpoint, we should stress. Oh
yeah, no, absolutely. But there is, I think I've already brought this up before, but there is sort of like this charm in the overall simplicity that the original Kingdom Hearts tried to exude, where it wasn't all just like very flashy acrobatics and whatnot. There was a little bit of skill involved, and I think that that could have been. I feel like if it were for how cruddy the controls were at the time, it probably could still hold its own pretty well.
I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2. Hey, Donald, just I'm here. No, I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 still had a nice blend of having some of the acrobatics in, but you still had pretty good control over what was happening. Whereas I think big thing with Kingdom Hearts 3 that a lot of people say is that Kingdom Hearts 3, it feels like you're just pressing one button and everything is being done for you. Like,
there's that, and I mean, just going on Kingdom Hearts' own merits, it's like never will your partners actually matter as much as they do in any than in any other game, because in every other game they're practically just health. They're practically just sponges just stick around for the ride. Whereas Sora's doing all the heavy work.
No, you're right. And so if there was some control to like give them more interaction, actually, you know what? To bring hype into this, like I have newfound respect for the whole Arkham series, because like when I was first trying out Origins a little bit when I was practicing, I was trying to play it like a Kingdom Hearts game, where I would just press the button, flail wildly, and hope for the best. Where no, like that game requires a constant rhythm you have to follow.
Oh, exactly. Like Arkham is all about timing and precision when it comes to its combat. And it's funny that you come to appreciate in Origins, which is still considered, if not Night, Origins is still considered to be one of the least liked games in the series. So just imagine how much you'll come to respect it when you play the games that people actually like.
No, yeah. But ultimately, like, like if they found some way to take the use the Sora doesn't walk in that way.
Try the other way, Sora.
The other way. Now I show my strength now, and these are all to get the emblems we need to open up that door. So we're just doing all of this right now. So anyway,
I think what we mean to say here, though, ladies and gentlemen, is that not going to harp on Kingdom Hearts 2 all that much, but, you know, it's definitely, like, with every other sequel is concerned, especially when you compare it to the first two games, you could sort of tell that the series was riding a little too high on style over substance.
No, and if there was a way that, I guess where I was going with this is, if there was a way that Kingdom Hearts could have a similar kind of combat flow like the Arkham series has, I think that would, like, make it really, like, cool to, like, I think that would make the combat a lot more engaging than just, as some people put it, like, you know, press a button and you win.
I mean, I brought up...
Jump for joy.
Yo-hey! But, what was I going to say? Honestly, I think what Kingdom Hearts should really do, like, for their next big game is, well, kind of in a similar light to what we got with Nier Automata, just get Platinum to help them out, because they've been, like, the freaking kings of, making character brawlers that are very much brimming with both style and substance. Most especially with games like, say, like, again, Bayonetta. I'll definitely also defend Astral Chain, even though that has a pretty weird gimmick in and of itself.
Now, it's all just a matter of if Platinum even cares about Kingdom Hearts enough to join it.
Well, I mean, hey, if the money's good.
I was about to say, hey, you know, I mean, I don't even know if Shimomura and Nomura really believe in this anymore, but I mean, the Disney money's there, and Lord knows this is the only game franchise Disney kind of cares about right now. So, but yeah, that's what I hope for.
Speaking of games they somehow care for, how about the fact that they're they're the ones re-releasing Zombies Ate My Neighbors on Switch?
Which one, Square or Platinum?
Disney.
Huh. Disney's the one. I thought that was like. I guess they have to because it's Lucas.
Right.
Yeah.
Technically, it was a LucasArts production, and they do own LucasArts.
That is true. Yeah, I didn't even make that connection. Anyway, fine. We just finished that whole leg of our journey. Finally. Meanwhile, Riku's throwing himself a little baby tantrum.
Sora. Why does everyone like that guy?
That's exactly what he is in this game. Also, we have our, you know, real villain kind of creeping in from behind the curtain going, ooh.
For that instant it was. However...
You know, this really all could have been avoided if, you know, Maleficent didn't just whisk him away, just have him just looking through the window as Sora's talking with all his other friends. Like, he could have been very much one part of the friendship circle that they were having at the time.
He absolutely could have, and instead he just gets led to believe, like, I have to become stronger by no matter what. Holy crap, he is vile.
I mean, granted, he's a much better, I'd say he's a much better handled, you know, rival character than Vile ever was.
Darkness itself.
It's just, if only because, you know, he was sort of led astray because of Maleficent and, well, now this hooded douchebag.
Right, this guy who...
Not to mention, unlike Vile, Riku at least goes through a development.
Oh, of course.
Was Vile only ever in the first game?
He was in the first game.
Games.
He's only been in about 3 games. The first game, the third game, and the 8th game.
Oh,
but it's still just that moment of, like, from what I can tell, like, Riku does have an arc that he goes through in the games, whereas Vile, he's just been, like, not for nothing, been pretty one-note ever since his introduction.
He just gets... Stop hitting him, X. He just gets angrier.
I mean, he was just an evil dickbag for his first 3 appearances, and then I know with Maverick Hunter X, they try to play him up as the solo, you know, the solo entity, thinking he's all this cool shit, even though he's actually just a whiny brat who's a pawn for Sigma.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like, he had it all in for him, but nope, didn't work.
Nope.
So, oh, jeez. Oh, also, sorry, completely forgot. Now we're introduced to the Wyverns.
Good old Wyverns.
Wyverns, sorry. The Wyverns.
And you're the one that's usually giving...
why do I forget? You know what it is? I was watching a friend play this game, actually, like, at the time of recording this. I have a friend, Daxon, and he was playing this game, and he called them Wyverns, and I thought, Wyverns! But no, okay, so if they're Wyverns, then they're Wyverns.
Daxon, if you're watching this, it's pronounced Wyverns.
I'm sure he...
Always using other people's mistakes to mask your own.
I'm a failure! No, okay, so welcome to... we're actually almost halfway through this area. We just need to clear this little elevator section, so... I thought this is cool, like, you can see the outside of the castle with the big heartless emblem.
But yeah, no, again, like, going back to my previous point, just... There is sort of this charm and, the simplicity of what we're watching right now, even though it is building up to something grand.
Of course, no, this is a really cool set piece. I guess I just, in terms of why I thought this was one of my least favorite worlds in the game, it's more so that it just kind of devolves to a lot of crummy exposition and a lot of battling, which thank goodness we have a lot of equipment to help us out.
Yeah, it just seems like the overall
Screw
problem
Ripple
is
Drive.
that like the section itself
So
just
bad.
drags.
Yeah.
I'm also getting rid of Ripple Drive because I realize I'm not really relying too much on magic. So Ripple Drive only works. Ripple Drive only really works if you're going really high in your magic stat. I believe they did add some new abilities with Final Mix, so that's cool. Also, I don't know. No, also I remember now. Also that I hope that the Kingdom Hearts 4 does not take as long as they've been really putting money into that mobile market, so hoping that that pans out to something. The fact that you have to play all these games, just now I remember now what James was talking about with the simplicities. That yes, I think that this game works so much better if you don't have to think about it, and the issue is that this game constantly wants you to think about what's going on, when no, I just want to watch, look at this, it's Beast and Donald fighting side by side with a simple light is good, kill the dark evil magic power stuff.
And make no mistake here, it's obvious you don't want the game to be completely brain dead. There should be some sort of substance to the plot, and I'd say for the most part, the original game does a pretty decent job of that. It's just that when you take the sequels into account, that over-glorify, everything. And makes retcons left and right.
I think we mentioned this as well earlier on in the commentary. Like, I think one of the strongest plot points of the game is how I think one of the strongest plot points of the game is how all of the Disney villains were banding together as some big force you had to stop. And genuinely speaking, as much as some of the dialogue can be funny, I genuinely love the banter between these guys 100 times more than the banter that the organization or the Xemnas group and all those. I
Would you
love
say-
these guys more because they're recognizable and I have that connection. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think a lot of it really has to do with that. But I guess I can pose a question. Say that the writing wasn't as bad as it was, and they actually gave the organization time to actually feel like more interesting, fleshed out characters. Would you still prefer, the villain set in the first film by comparison, just purely out of nostalgia?
I mean, that's just one of those things you're gonna have to, work around whether you like it or not.
Right.
At the same time, though, good characterization can still be good characterization. It really does depend on how you handle it, and Kingdom Hearts kind of handled it very, very half and half.
I mean, for instance, at this point, let's do to hell with trying to not mention all the other characters. Or all the other games. Let's just go about it. I think that the Master of Masters from that 2.8 prologue thingy with all of the big guys or whatever, I thought the Master of Masters was really fun and likable because he finally was this huge contrast as to everything else, where
Or
at
he
least from
doesn't
what I've
take
seen,
anything seriously.
right? And
Well,
I like
not
that.
only granted, I guess when you also take the entire franchise into account, he pretty much was the embodiment of everyone's feelings towards how convoluted the plot's got.
Yeah.
Right, and so maybe I wouldn't have appreciated him as much had I not had this whole experience moving forward. I think that, yeah, Kingdom Hearts as a concept is not broken. Kingdom Hearts is definitely not flawed. I mean, hell, this franchise has 13, 14 games in it. But
Well, no, it's definitely flawed, and above all else, it's definitely not broken. I could honestly think of so much worse that you could take from the industry than this.
oh no, yeah, there are definitely examples of why it doesn't. There are examples of this that don't work.
And I do think what ultimately holds Kingdom Hearts together is just, first of all, the legacy behind Disney, and also the legacy behind Square's own RPGs, however nonsensical it may be. It's just the whole, it's just the whole novelty of it all. That's the most captivating part about it. Just the fact that this kind of crossover even exists in the first place.
Oh no, this was I agree with that.
Tied together with mostly solid gameplay.
I'm curious, Hype. Is there anything with Kingdom Hearts that would interest you in wanting to give the series a shot?
Well, I mean, I technically did give the series a shot beforehand. I borrowed my friend's copy. Well, I guess he technically gave it to me. His copy of the first PS3 collection that has I think it was one Chain of Memories and.
What do you think are you pondering what I'm pondering? You're pondering.
He's getting evil. Also, at that last cutscene, Maleficent said that she's finally going to deal with this herself, so you can keep talking, Hype, but just know that we're going into we're finally confronting Maleficent.
But yeah, I was trying to think, like, I might need your guys' help. Like, that first PS3 collection, it had one Rechain of Memories, and what was the other game that it had?
One Reaching of Memories, and it had the cutscenes of 258 Days Over 2.
Okay, so I remember trying that. And again, not for nothing, I did give the first Kingdom Hearts my best effort, but I just couldn't really get into it just because of, like, some of the inherent flaws the first game has. Which, you know, obviously just comes from the trait of it just being the first game of the series, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, aside from that, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, like, I feel like... I think it's because I know how much of a train wreck the story gets after the first game, where I don't feel quite as motivated to give the rest of the series a try, and just a matter of... I don't know, there's just like, a myriad of things that kind of makes it hard for me to really get back into it, you know, on top of the fact that just in general I'm kind of picky when it comes to my RPGs.
That's fair.
That's true.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, if I was to recommend playing this game, picking up the series at any point in time, I'd say watch the cutscenes of the first game at the very least. It's never hurts to, you know, try the game out for yourself if you feel like it. But if you really want to get your first-hand experience with this franchise, I'd say watch the cutscenes of the first game, and I guess to some degree Chain of Memories. Even though I'd say, I mean, honestly, yeah, you probably would have to do that anyway. And then just to start the game this franchise proper in a gameplay sense, start with 2, because that is hands down the best game in the franchise gameplay wise.
I absolutely agree.
I heard Birth by Sleep comes close.
It comes close, but it does have its own gimmicks you need to be wary of.
The trickiest thing for me trying to learn Birth by Sleep was learning the whole command deck system, which they for a time used. 3, I like that 3 brought back this menu system because I did prefer this, but I do think that what Birth by Sleep and stuff excelled in with the command deck was it allowed for a lot of customization for your playset and your, like, whatever attacks or abilities you like using. Also die.
Nice fade in there, bucko.
Did I mention die? Yeah, okay, she's dead. Never coming back.
Well, you know what happens next.
Oh yeah.
I mean, first off, she does that, which, I mean, goodness me, any self-respecting Disney fan is not good. You're doing great. And, I mean, yeah, okay, any, you know, self-respecting Disney fan would know that they're not going to just, you know, show us normal Maleficent and not have us do what we're about to do.
Oh, dude, of course not. It's her trademark.
Like, I'm trying to think, like... unless I'm mistaken, because I haven't watched the series, like, too thoroughly. Is 1 the only game in the series where you fight her dragon form?
I believe so.
I think so, yeah. You fight her human form in Birth by Sleep.
Okay. I figured, honestly, considering what Birth by Sleep was technically, you know, when we got to go to the world of Sleeping Beauty, I figured that would also be an excuse for her to also turn to a dragon there.
That could be it.
Because that's how the movie ended.
Oh, you know what? No, I apologize. You're right. So you fight her as a dragon in Birth by Sleep as well as Aqua.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so you fight her 2 times. Meanwhile, Riku's gonna do some evil stuff.
Riku.
Yes, a keyblade.
He got his own.
But unlike
Not only that, he's also got his own. Got a new voice filter.
Power to unlock
Nice.
hearts. Allow me to demonstrate.
Whoop!
He
Ouch!
can unlock hearts to darkness.
I feel bad for I do feel bad for those that played through this game on played this game on the vanilla version and lost this fight.
Wait, what happens? Like, what happens to Vanilla?
You can't skip cutscenes.
Oh, that's right. You know, completely forgot. Between this and the next fight, especially.
Unlimited power.
No, because yeah, no, I'm gonna say right now, for me, James, it was the next fight that the freaking not able to skip cutscenes just.
There
like,
it is.
12-year-old me was like, okay, make a sandwich. We're gonna be here for a bit. So.
Now that being said, though, woo, dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon Maleficent. And no Glee to appreciate it because it's not a cool dragon, not as cool as it could
Well,
be.
I'm sure she likes Maleficent
She's
Dragon.
still. I mean, overused of a trope as it may be, it's Maleficent Dragon's still a cool design.
So, there are 2 ways you can do this. there's the very upfront offensive way you could do, like what I'm doing here, which is
Oh, boy.
going toe to toe with her. Which this is our first 4 health bar boss, and has a lot of attacks. As you notice, every single footstep creates shockwaves. Or you can do what I'm trying to do, which is the cheese method, which is I would get on her back, remembering the age-old advice of Phil,
Get
and
up on the dragon's back!
Not
unfortunately,
exactly what I
spinning
had in
doesn't work as
mind,
well.
but not bad.
And this would take me a long time, which is why I eventually say, for the recording, I probably shouldn't do this, but this was how young me cheesed this fight, because when you get up on her back, Maleficent has 0 attacks that can reach up onto her back. And you can just keep doing this forever.
You know, in
Maybe
hindsight, I really should have loosened up my neck bone so that I knew how to turn my head around.
But yeah, again, like, what I found charming with Kingdom Hearts was how it took all of those like 2D drawings and art illustrations and made really faithful 3D representations of them all.
Oh, yeah, no, and I think it also helps too that, I mean, granted, some of them have definitely aged a bit, but I do think for their time, this was very, very impressive.
Absolutely, considering all the other 3D Disney games we had up to this point.
And assuming you're not dealing with the whole
Right.
mouth work from like some
Yeah.
of the, from the low res cutscenes, like they still hold their own pretty well even today.
I like to think
think
so,
so.
yeah.
Oh yeah, funny thing I learned about the other day is that Square Enix has an entire... Oh, okay. Surprising, and also when I think about it, not at all surprising. Square Enix has an entire division of its company just dedicated to FMV cutscenes, or FMV animations.
I mean, that's not terribly surprising.
And I guess what was surprising was that I learned about them because they did like some like contracted movie animation work the other day.
Really?
Oh,
Some,
any
like,
particular
nature-
movies?
it was something to do with monkeys. Let me look it up.
Monkey Island?
No, it was
That would be some shit, though. But that's it for Maleficent, and her plot relevance with the franchise in general dried up.
Yeah.
yeah.
Trying to remember, like,
That's
what was
that.
her plan into again?
Basically, Kingdom Hearts 2 was kind of like a case where she had to rebuild her, power from scratch,
Gotcha.
which didn't really help things when the organization reared its ugly head.
The Heartless were using
Yeah.
Maleficent
Kind of makes me wish that they played a little further with the whole aspect of spoiler warnings for like your 20-year-old game. It kind of makes me wish like they played a little harder with the aspect of her maybe forming an uneasy alliance with the heroes.
Yeah.
After all was said and done. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we can go further into that kind of discussion. Next part of Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yeah. So join us in the next part as we're going to be going through the last big stuff of Kingdom Hearts, starting off with, a 3-minute cut. Not 3 minutes. It was like at least like 45 seconds. It's a cutscene you usually could not skip, followed by one of the biggest difficulty spikes in the game. Also, the movie that Square Enix did work for was called Out of the Cradle. It was like a big monkey. It was like a evolution based like animation movie thing. It was interesting. Anyway, see you.
Take care, guys.
Monkey.